Good afternoon. How are you? I wanted to go on live on that TikTok, but it asked you for your birthday, where you live at, and then your ID. Really? No, you won't be getting mine. Anyway, this is what I wanted to say because I couldn't write it. With all the people in the world, if they all got their story published instead of publishing it on or doing videos on TikTok, Reels, do you know how much information would be put out there? And that perhaps somebody else could learn from your experience, your life journey? We are selfish and we keep it to ourselves. But one day it gets out there. So I think we all need to learn how to be vulnerable and transparent and just tell your story. I tell mine because I found freedom. Perhaps others won't find freedom in telling it. But if you can get on social media and tell your story, you can write it in a book where people can read it. Because to believe it or not, everybody is not on social media and everybody is not looking at everything. They don't look at your posts. They're just on there, scanning through the stuff, see what's interesting, see what's not interesting. So therefore, when you're doing all your shenanigans, they're probably not going to ever see you. Never, ever, ever. What they do see, especially the men, they see the women dressed very provocatively, which should not be. Keep yourself covered. Save it for the bedroom and save it for yourself. Show some dignity. I'm probably going to get bashed for this, but it's okay. And the men, don't be so hard up where you got to be chasing every Tom, Dick, and Harry or stalking pages to see or sending friend requests when you don't have nothing about yourself. Or the best thing is, it's the same picture with somebody else's name. How about that? Isn't that crazy? But you want to be somebody's friend. Well, please, no friend here, okay? No friend here. I'm not interested. So please don't do that to me because I definitely will not respond. Trust me. Now, another thing. We are all on here talking about how much money we make, and you want to be these business people, business person, entrepreneurs. Guess what? How many of you have life insurance? That is a big question. A big, big question that I always ask. Not once should any family member have to do a GoFundMe page to collect money to bury their loved ones. Not. I suggest that if you have elder parents, make sure they have a life insurance policy. Even if it's just $5,000, it's something. But I'm going to tell you, from reading those death certificates, when it comes to it, you're paying a lot of money. You're paying for a coffin. You're paying for them to dress you. You're paying for them if you want if you're a female, your nails polished. You got to bring underwear. You have to bring your own clothes. So in underwear, yes, you have to have underwear. I know it sounds silly, but they want that. And if they have to do your makeup, your hair, all of that is included. So if you want one of those fancy funerals where you can have the works, I suggest you get a life insurance policy that will cover the works before it's too late. And now they have policies, and I suggest you do it now before they no longer let you do the policies with the pre-existing illnesses. And many of us have pre-existing illnesses, such as diabetes, cancer. I remember when I first got diagnosed, and the first thing my agent asked me for my home insurance, he was like, "Do you have life insurance?" I said, "Yes." He was like, "Because you have breast cancer and you're not in the clear, you won't be able to get any life insurance," which I found out too from going to a life insurance class, since that's what I do. I went to a class and I found out the same thing. So I'm suggesting that everybody go Cover yourself. Go get a policy. Write a will. Have in there everything you want done. If you can afford a living trust, do that, where it skips the probate, period. It just doesn't even go through there. If you don't have a will and you don't have any beneficiaries on anything, when you die, everything goes to your estate. And I'll explain how that goes. When it goes to your estate, you have to find, no, you don't have to find it. They'll find someone to be the executrix or the administrator of the estate, wherein that they will do what they have to do. My mother was the executrix of her estate, and with that, she had to handle everything. She didn't do anything because she was ill, so I helped her. But I'm telling you this from experience. It's really, really a mundane process. It's very, very depressing when you don't have all bases covered. And all bases covered, that means you have to make sure when you close your eyes, you ain't gonna know what's going on because you won't be here to see it. But just make sure you know that when you die, your family is left in a better place where they don't have to do GoFundMe, they don't have to take up collections. Write down everything in your will, what you want done as far as your burial, the whole thing. You have to write it down. Sorry, my sinuses are bothering me. I'm very, very sorry. That was rude. But you should have all these things in place. You know, I work in a place where I've seen people come in and they had nothing, you know, and they have to get this money out the bank, but because people don't leave beneficiaries on their accounts, there is no way to get the money. So what happens to your money? Your money goes to the state. Then you have to get an attorney, you got to get this. That money is going, you have any bills that are left over, all this money is going to pay all of this. That's why you have to get a living trust. A living trust will help with all of that. A will can help with all of that as well. Try not to overextend yourself credit-wise. That would help too. So that in case of your demise, your family won't have to dish out a lot of money. A lot. Just to pay for your errors. So I just got on here to say that because I see so many of these GoFundMes for people who don't have insurance to bury them. And I guess because you think you're not going to die, but from the age of 17, I had a life insurance policy. 17, I'm 67 now, so I've had one. I messed it up, but I got another one. And it's not a lot, but it's enough to do what I need done with it. And as you know, most jobs now, they don't have pensions. So that's another thing. So if you have a 401k, make sure you have a beneficiary on it. If you have little children, put an adult on there. And in that will, put in the will exactly what you want done with those funds. I'm telling you. Because you don't want it to go to somebody that's not going to do the right thing. And how you can do it where you put it in the will, they can put those accounts in a grantor account, yeah, or a custodian account, yeah. With a child, when they get a certain age, they can get the money. You know, that's how you can do that. But just cover all bases. And I just got on here to say that. And as you know, I am the host of The Unexpected Detour, Frances Hammond. I know I've been slacking a lot lately, but the mind has been going with different ideas and things that I would like to talk about. But for me, I have to write them down so I can talk about it. Oh, and that's another thing before I leave. I think you all should start writing things down. A journal. You'd be surprised how helpful a journal is to write down things. I did that when I went through my breast cancer journey. I would write everything down. And I remember my mother, which I thought she was very, very crazy. She would get those date books. She would always ask for a date book. And in those date books, she wrote from the penny that she spent in there. Everything was documented. And then when she did transition, I looked back and I saw she's been doing that for years. So that was nothing new for her. She wrote down everything she did, who she was with, everything. When I look back, I'm like, wow, this lady was always writing. But journaling is a good thing. Journaling will help keep your mind occupied, keep you off of social media, looking to see what other people do, which I know I'm guilty of, but I'm not looking to see what other people do. I'm looking to post things, thinking it might help people. But I have found myself becoming too fond of it, where I now have to refrain from being on there so I can use the brain that God gave me and begin to write again. I mean, I've slacked on my blog so much, but then I have so many things. Let me tell you a few things I want to discuss. One is a stream, but I won't tell you what the stream is. One is me, when I realized how the elevator really works. Now, don't laugh at me. I remember my son was like, Ma, when you want the elevator to come up, you push the down button. When you want it to go down, push the up button. And I'm like, doesn't make sense. Well, don't tell him. I finally figured it out. I was like, oh, shoot, this is bad. 67 years old, and I'm finally figuring out how the buttons go. But don't laugh at me. Don't judge. No judgment. Being honest and truthful. And then there's some other things I would like to talk about. So I am going to leave for sure now. And when it's time, you'll see me come up, and I'll let you know that a new podcast is available for you to listen to. But if you would like, and I suggest, you need to go back and listen to the other ones. There's 67 of them there. And then you can catch up to me. 67 podcasts. I talk about breast cancer. I talk about what I went through. I talk about the hurt and rejection I felt. I talk about me being transparent. I talk about my love life, my marriage, everything. My liver problem, everything. And it was just a release. When I say release, I really felt free. You know why I felt free? Because these were things I was holding on to. And it was like it was holding me prisoner because I had no way to express myself. And not only that I didn't have a way, I think it was more embarrassment. I was more embarrassed about the things I did than rather, coming to terms with it. It would haunt me because I would sit down and I would be like, what if I didn't? If I didn't do it, I wouldn't have learned lessons. But then I might have saved some of my health where things didn't go like they were when I had hepatitis. So, no, I didn't have the hepatitis that sexually transmitted. I had hepatitis C. So that was it. What the baby boomers get, when you see the commercial and you see people, let's say that are baby boomers, they usually get it because we were doing recreational drugs, as my doctor said. Anyway, it's no big secret. Yes, I did that too. But I am going to go for real this time, and I will get back to you shortly, in September, and I will begin to do my podcast and begin my blogging again. With that, the unexpected detour, where in life detours are inevitable. Always remember that. There's always a detour ahead. It's how you handle the detour that counts. Bye.